So good morning to all of you from the NorthCap University and welcome to the NorthCap University Masterclass, a series of talks wherein you get to listen to the eminent thinkers, scholars, and the leaders sharing their perspective on what's going on in the world and what it means for you as future professionals. As we keep repeating, the magic of the great university is in its people. It attracts the finest students and faculty. Over the past 25 years, the NorthCap University has indeed been such a place, a natural meeting ground for talented students, faculties. Our graduates are welcomed in leading global companies and by top universities abroad. For one reason and one only reason, at NorthCap University, we are interested in future. Just look at all the specialization we offer in engineering, management, and law, from artificial intelligence, augmented virtual reality, cybersecurity, computing, to business analytics, digital marketing, and latest trends in law. We cover all the specializations. We take care a great pains to offer degrees that will matter for you and makes you and us the top university. The same intent also drives our recent collaboration with Arizona State University, the leading American university. Our partnership is exclusively the first of its kind in India in the terms of coverage, breadth, and depth, all designed to give you a degree that will be your asset over your working lives. Dear students, modern society cannot exist without a strong foundation of justice and fairness. Without justice, there is no guarantees for your freedoms or your security. Just look at India's Western neighbors. Would you like to immigrate and live there? I don't think so. In his influential work, The Theory of Justice, John Rawls tells us that what justice and fairness have a strong moral imperative and establish a basis of procedural justice as opposed to the distributive justice. Many speakers in masterclass series have warned about how the algorithms from big technologies firms are strangling our privacy, reducing us to mere manipulated objects, and how unchecked their power is over all of us. Fairness requires checks and balances on uncontrolled power. It is jurisprudence the answer? Our guest today will share the perspective on the grave situation. Emerging employment opportunities. The term emerging technologies commonly refers to the technologies that are commonly developing or that are expected to be available within the next 5 to 10 years and usually reserved for technologies that are creating or are expected to create significant social and economic effects. We here at the NorthCap University Gurugram proudly initiated the specialization degrees in these technologies. This enables our students to be future ready. The world is changing and so are our career pathways. As people of the new ages, we are the emerging opportunities you can expect to see. To put a focus and give you a real insight, let me introduce Professor Milind Padalkar, the Pro-Chancellor of the NorthCap University. Professor Padalkar is a highly experienced academician and industry leader. His role involves aligning the business models to the changing evaluation environment in India and design and implementation of the strategies of growth of the university. He teaches courses in management, science, operation management, and his research has extensively published in internationally acclaimed journals. Prior to academics, he held top management positions and senior leadership roles in the industry over 3 decades. He has earned his PhD from IIM Kozhikode, and he holds an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad and BTech from IIT Delhi. He'll speak on the topic emerging employment opportunities. As always, you can write your questions and response in the chat box. Over to Professor Milind Padalkar for his valuable insight. Thank you.
Thank you, Anirudh. And dear students, good morning and welcome to this talk, wherein I will talk about emerging employment opportunities and what you can do about them. I'm going to have a presentation, so I'm going to share my screen. Please let me know when you see the screen. I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Okay, wonderful. So, employment and opportunities and emerging are three words. This is a complex subject. I have tried to make it as easy as I could, and questions are always welcome during the talk or after the talk. There's nothing better than starting with a quiz for a young class. So let's begin with a quiz. Are you ready? And please please give your answers in the chat. My first question is, what is the difference between a job and a career? Okay, don't worry. I will not be grading you on this quiz. And so there are no right or wrong answers. Feel free to send your chats. What is the difference between a job and a career? Are they two different things? Okay, let me see. Job is something, Kriti says, job is something that we are forced to do, but career is something that we ourselves choose to do. Good. Wonderful. Job is something you do for money. Job is a part of a career, Bhuvnesh. Job, you're bound to an organization, Lakshay. Sonika says job doesn't promote passion, but a career is built by passion. Very good. A job is a subset of a career. Wow, Divyash, you must be a mathematician. Kunal says a job is something that you do at time or date, but career is your professional life. Wonderful. These are all correct answers. So what is the answer? A job is defined and owned by the employer. You own the career. It is not owned by your employer. Job without career always becomes routine and a commodity. It becomes low wage. And when a job without a career is just a job, just piece of work, somebody else can do it cheaper, better, faster, and therefore you have no job security. If you are just looking at employment as a job, then remember that you need to adjust your worldview. Second question. You've heard so far many speakers in this series. What is common across them? Go ahead. No marks for this quiz, so don't worry about losing marks. What is common? What did you notice about all these different speakers? They were always growing in life. Good. Shivam, they are self-motivated. Absolutely. They took risk. Lakshay. Pearl says they never gave up. Okay, good. They chose passion as their careers. Perseverance. They're passionate about their work. You know, long ago, Narayan Murthy of Infosys is known to have said, don't love your company, love your job, because your company can go away, but your profession will not. At least try each and every field around them to know their interests, know what you can do, hard work and skills. Great. You've been very good students in this series, and you will continue to be good students. So what are common factors across all the speakers we have heard? The first thing, that they all tracked the trends that were at that time and prepared for the future. Every single one of them. They did not link to their past, they linked that to their future. And they watched the trends and took their chance. Second, everybody changed careers many times and working in very dissimilar areas from their first degrees. I can give you my own example. I am trained as a textile engineer. Although I could have gotten into other better branches at that time, I was influenced by my father and my uncle, who said that textile industry, human beings always need for clothes. So there is no mortality to that industry. It will always be required. So I chose it. Halfway through the engineering, I realized that that was not going to be my cup of tea. I finished that degree because there was no other option. I could not have switched. I worked in textile industry for some time in good companies. Then I switched to software programming. At that time, computer science degree did not exist. So I trained myself. Then I got into project management. Then I got into sales and business development, working out of America. Then I came back and started building the whole business unit, profit center. Then I gave that all up and came into academics and taught. And now I am back into solving the difficult problem of growth. Everybody has changed. My suspicion is that most of you in this audience will also go through several career changes. I'm not talking about job changes, career changes. All of them kept learning new technology and new skills. All of them have remained students. Even Dr. Subramaniam Swamy is still a student today. Sanjay Bikhchandani is learning all the time. And all ventured out of their comfort zones. They went away from their cities, from their cultures, from their professions. Many of them went away from their countries, as you heard Neil Broker. And that was the path they chose. And you are seeing what they made themselves into. My third question, why do companies hire? And I promise this is the last question. Okay, why do companies hire? Why do you think that is? Vibhav says they want to get the job done, to have Samaksh, to have people with fresh ideas. All right. Any more? Divyash, to learn from different people on how they can grow with new jobs, to have Lakshay, have a good team. They need coordinative staff and employees to get the projects done. Tanveer. Okay, to gain more profit, Pearl, of course, every company does everything to gain profit only. Vibhav says to have more billing, which is revenue. Yeah. Kirti says with different minds, no one can know what pros and cons of an idea to expand. Okay, all right. Thank you. The companies hire for you to solve their problems. They don't hire just for work. They pay good wages only if you can make a difference. And what is their instrument by which they know that you can make a good difference or a significant difference? Your interviews, your interactions, and the opportunities that they will throw at you, and what you do with those opportunities. Many times you may not be trained explicitly for those opportunities, and yet they want you to solve their problems. They are not solving your problem. All right. When we think of employment and careers, we should think of what is called a value pyramid. Let me explain. And there is a certain order in this pyramid that you see in front of you. At the bottom is agriculture, mining, utilities, roads, infrastructure. You know, these things need to exist. Somebody has to produce them, produce stuff. Moving a little up gets into food processing, dairy transportation. Then you start manufacturing things, making products. Having made products, you start distributing them, trading them, putting them in retail. And then you get into more complex things such as platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, or platforms like Uber, Ola. You get into e-markets. Services sit at the top. Now the first four, that is agriculture, processing, manufacturing, and distribution, is what Industry 2.0 was all about. That was at the time of our growing up, my growing up. That's all there was. A little bit of services, but there was nothing like e-markets. There was nothing like telephones, or there were telephones, but They were very hard to come by. Most people didn't have their own telephones, telephone connections. The captions in bold, e-markets and services, are actually Industry 4.0. So what happened? Industry 2.0 from agriculture to distribution up, and suddenly e-markets and services Industry 4.0. So where did Industry 3.0 go? So let's understand this so that you have a clearer idea of what employment is all about. One way to, or two ways to look at this pyramid is, at the base is jobs. At the top is careers. If the lower down in the pyramid you are just doing a job, which means anybody else can do what you do. Zomato delivery person, if you know how to drive a two-wheeler, you can do that job. It's a job, but it's not a career. And very generally, the lower down in the pyramid you go, your wages are going to be low. Higher up you go, your wages are going to be high. You get educated so that you move up the pyramid. And there is a hypothetical story I want to tell you at this time. There was an olive farmer, let's say in Italy. He grew olive and he was fairly prosperous. He was able to take care of his family. His production, his crop of olives was sold to a factory that crushed the olives to make olive oil. After some time, this farmer realized that he made some profits out of growing olives, but the factory made more profits just crushing oil. So he sold his farm. He started a crushing factory, and he got into the business of manufacturing the olive oil. He became prosperous. He made more money. Then he realized that the distributors are making even more money than him. People who just bought bulk olive oil, mixed it up or packed it up and sold it, they made more money. So he sold his factory and got into the distribution of olive oil. He made even more money. And then he discovered that the financiers, the bankers who lent money to him for running his distribution, made more money than him. So he sold his distribution business and got into financing. Okay, this story is not so hypothetical. It basically illustrates how you move up the value chain. And when you move up the value chain, you start doing things that are more valuable. And expression of that value is that you get higher wage and job security. So, without exception, at the base steps, the agriculture, mining, utilities, infrastructure, and food processing require low skills. Because the skills required are low, you don't get high wages. Manufacturing, which was Industry 2.0, and it is here 3.0 affected. Industry 3.0 was about automation, robotics and automation. That is still happening. And manufacturing is becoming more and more efficient, not because people are working better, but because industry after industry is bringing in automation. So jobs are shrinking. Industry 2.0 is changing to Industry 3.0 at the stage of manufacturing and distribution. That would have been the case. Distribution was anyway physical activity. You have to pick up the materials, go to real people, sell it to real people. It would have remained till it was disrupted by Industry 4.0, which is e-markets. Some of you must be following what's going on in the Reliance and Future Group's deal. Kishore Biani of Future Group had set a target sometime 15 years back that he wanted 40% of the wallet share of every consumer in India. So he got into retail, he got into insurance, he got into all kinds of things, fashion goods. And today, Future Group is fighting a case against Amazon, which is e-markets, which has filed a case against his deal with Reliance. He wants to exit. Amazon is disrupting the distribution. E-markets is Industry 4.0. It consists of e-platforms, merchandising, content creation. When you click on Amazon.com, you see so many products, so many pictures, so many descriptions, people giving ratings and feedback about their product experiences, etc. All that information is available to you on your device. Somebody has to create that. Then the pricing is a very tricky business in e-platforms and market analytics. And finally, the services, which is finance, IT, healthcare, analytics, professional services like legal, accounting, consulting, they sit at the top of the pyramid. That's where careers are made. That's where high wages can be something that you can aspire to. There is no question about the fact that if you are looking for a job, the numbers are at the bottom. If you are looking for a career, the numbers aren't there, but the benefits and profits for you will be there as you move up the top. Now, what's happening in Industry 2.0? I have just at the bottom, you will see these are technologies which I have listed, which are horizontal. They are not necessarily focused on a particular industry, but they are disrupting every single industry. From the left, banking, financial services, and insurance is disrupted. Look at what the digital payments and financial inclusion is doing. Just the speed of transactions, the speed at which money flows. Media and entertainment, print media is dying. Yesterday there was a report that most of the print media is down 40%. I suspect none of you read paper newspapers, but you are still very well informed. So media and entertainment is being disrupted. OTT platforms like Netflix are disrupting the regular film distributions. Auto and mobility. Ford exited India last week. They couldn't sell their cars anymore. The same week, Bhavish Agarwal of Ola Electric announced the rollout of his electric two-wheeler. Auto industry is very badly disrupted. And responsible factor here is energy storage, electrovoltaic technology, all the new technologies. Likewise, the new product development and R&D is being disrupted. IT and IT-enabled services are being disrupted. Manufacturing and supply chain through robotics and other technologies are being disrupted. Even retail hasn't remained the same. E-tailing and that is e-tailers, the Amazons and Mintras and Flipkarts, they are interfering with the storefront, physical storefront retail businesses. Even law and order, public policy, and defense are being disrupted. You must have read the news. Chinese hackers targeting Indian military establishment and Indian government. And there is no doubt that Government of India and Defense Ministry has to spend a lot of money so that the information remains secure. And for that, they have to turn to cryptology, cyber security, and all the new technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics. These technologies remain at the base of it. Health, education, utilities are also being disrupted. You've seen how much startups have disrupted all these sectors. Education, Byju's, acquiring Akash. Byju's is already $1 billion valuation company. In the health sector, there is this Arogya Setu and Cowin app, and everything is becoming very, very different. And the technologies are directly affecting the industry sectors, and they're also affecting the industry sectors through new startups, which is where the disruption starts. What this means is that there are opportunities for all professions. While technology itself is, you can say that it is made by engineers, But the kind of disruption that we see in all industries creates enormous opportunities for all professionals and career opportunities, not just jobs. So those of you who are lawyers or management students or any other profession that you want to seek, you have large number of opportunities. However, you will need skills. You will need to be digitally proficient, and you need to skill yourself differently. Otherwise, you will get behind. Okay, this is probably the most complex slide I will show. I can't make it any simpler. Let me explain. At the top, in the light brown, are trends. And these trends have nothing to do with industry or technology. This is happening. They are not going to be reversed. People are living longer. The life expectancy is going up. Medical technologies and innovations are making sure that not only we will live longer, probably we will live healthier. Second trend is there is a digital divide. There is a digital haves and digital have-nots, and there is a rising income disparity. And that has been going on for some time. Climate change you hear about, and climate change will cause resource conflicts, wars and fights over water, energy. Oil has sparked so many wars in Middle East, etc. So that is going to continue. Gen Z, which is people like you, are different. And you simply are more digitally connected, you consume content very differently, and you behave differently, you purchase differently, you will live differently from people like us. And that is not going to go back. You are not going to start living like your grandparents or your parents. And lastly, and this is something our earlier speakers talked about, Nitin Pai talked about, Samir Saran talked about, dominance of big tech and multinationals, and the near complete control these big technologies are acquiring over our lives. If you look at all these trends together, see how many sectors are affected, from healthcare to citizen care to banking, financial insurance, crime and law and order. Because of higher divide, crime is going to rise, law and order going to be a problem. Climate change will have impact on utilities, electricity, water, etc. It also has impact on our mobility. If utilities are expensive, we have to get into electric vehicles. Resource conflicts mean defense has to be very different. Gen Z, education is massively different today. Then dominance of big technology and MNCs means that our public policy, governance, and lawmaking and law enforcement also has to be different. What's causing all this? So these trends are happening on their own. On the other hand, at the bottom, you have these technologies coming up: artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, nanotechnologies, energy storage, big data analytics, gaming, augmented reality or virtual reality, 5G. People are talking about 6G now. Cryptology and cryptocurrencies, robotics and drones, cybersecurity, 3D printing. These are all technologies that are here today, or as Anirudh told you, they will be dominant technologies by the time you graduate, in 3 to 4 years. And see how many sectors have now sparked out because of this interaction between trends and the technologies. So you have nanomedicine that is being talked about, where cancer treatment will be surgically struck by small quantities of chemotherapy molecules, which otherwise are very, very destructive. But with nanomedicine and with AI and ML, it is possible for you to deliver that chemotherapy medicine to the cancer cell and not to other cells, thereby improving substantially the cancer survival rates. Genomic engineering, prosthetics aided by 3D printing, geriatric care, which is going to be human intensive. People are going to live old, they will need care. and a lot of business ideas can come from there. In BFSI also, you can see credit rating, risk and compliance, financial inclusion, fintech, uh, new surveillance and crime detection technologies using fuzzy logic for face identification to tackle rising crime and terrorism. And the list goes on. Clean energy, renewable energies, water management, e-tailing, digital marketing, information warfare, information security. Yesterday, I talked about the Armenia and Azerbaijan war, which was won by Azerbaijan because of superior technology on robotics, drones, and information warfare. So that's here today already. Gamification of content so that the content to be delivered better for you, so you are better educated. Privacy laws, IP rights, liability laws, everything is getting impacted. And just look at the opportunities that are being created simply as the trends conflict or confront the technologies. Now, this is not something that was there before. 10 years back or 20 years back, this didn't exist. Today, we live in a different world, and you, as students, must prepare yourself for some of the tabs that you are seeing in front of you. This is where the opportunities are. This is where careers are actually. But you have to be well prepared. Let's look at some data. You are likely, while you are in 1% of total Indian population who will have an undergraduate degree, you will still face very high competition for employment. Because this is a report from 2020. 1.82 crore students are studying undergrad degrees of arts, science, and commerce. 36.44 lakhs are studying engineering and technology. 4.67 lakhs BCA, 5.3 lakhs BBA, 3.96 lakhs LLB. Now, remember, these students study the same science, commerce, arts, and law. For them, the science is not different, engineering is not different, commerce is not different. However, surveys after surveys tell us that less than 15% are employable. And I'm citing the Ministry of Education reports 2020 and India Skills report from AICT 2020. Why are they not? Why is this problem that we have? They're simply because they're not well prepared. But you can be if you stay focused. And the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years are important for you to bring that focus, because your degree is your project. As a general principle, I want to say that career opportunities must come from the problems that the industry faces, so that you're looking at a career and not a job. Now, different industry sectors will have different problems. And if you are able to solve these problems, then you have the opportunity for a career or opportunity to be an entrepreneur, do your own startup, or you can even be an intrapreneur, which is you are with a big firm, and that big firm wants to innovate, and that turns to you, or company turns to you to innovate. So you are an entrepreneur inside a company. There are opportunities across the spectrum. Equally generally, across the spectrum, I see 3 areas which are important for building careers. And those are namely product, market, and customer. So if you want to build a career, you have to get associated either with a product or the market or the buyer, the consumer or the customer. So if you are looking at new industries, you are a startup, you want to look at new industries, this is where the careers will be. Product design, and that will require technology skills, design skills, problem solving skills. Second focus area will be market creation. Since you are in a new industry, you have to create market, and you will require strong marketing and analytics skills. And finally, customer adoption. You have to get customers. So you will require skills to engage, skills to sell, and skills to persuade. Now, it's not necessary that each one of you must have all these three skills. They are different, but you can choose which area you want to be into and specialize, and you have a good future. Now, you may ask, what is the story for existing industries? The same three areas dominate in existing industries also, except that in existing industries, you are not designing new products necessarily, but you are revamping the products. You are augmenting the products. If you are an automobile company, you are launching a newer model of a car. You are tinkering with the design, but it will still require designing skills and problem-solving skills. In an existing industry, you will generally face the need to compete quickly. The agility or speed will be important. So marketing execution and analytic skills will be needed. And since you probably will have existing customers, you will have to start developing skills into share of wallet, the management, make sure that your loyal customers stay with you and they start spending more and more on whatever you have to offer. Again, you will need selling and persuasion skills. And as Sanjeev Bikhchandani told us, deep consumer insight is exceptionally important to succeed in tomorrow's world. As many other speakers told us, strong technology foundation is very, very important. Design skills are important. Persuasion ability to persuade is important. Now, can you learn them all in your classroom? Yes and no. Some of the skills are indeed learned in classroom, but some of the skills will require you to go out of the classroom and learn them. Consumer insights, for example, will require you to engage real people and understand how they use the product, how they make the decisions, and why they decide in a particular way. Strong technology foundation and strong conceptual cognitive foundation you will get in your classroom. So do not neglect your classroom, because the classroom is where your foundation will be. Your CGPA is important. That separates you from others, but it is not enough. So I say 5 skills required for you to succeed. First, you must know. You must know your subject very well, know related subjects, and also know unrelated subjects. Now, only knowledge will not make you stand out, but if you don't have it, then you are out of the race. Against all those numbers that I talked about, 1.8 crore bachelors, 36 lakhs engineers, you're out of the race. So knowledge is essential. You must engage people, build networks and peers. So many speakers told you that the campus is your place to build these networks and friendships, because they will be friends for life. Neil Broker told us, Rakesh Godwani told us, Sanjeev Bikhchandani told us. Also develop networks with superiors, faculty, and learn this thing on the campus. Engagement skills will make you stand out a little bit. It will make you better than some others. Articulate. Learn how to express yourself. Take part in co-curricular events like hackathons or competitions, moot courts, etc. And also extracurricular activities, organize events, express yourself, sing, dance, whatever you want to do while you are on the campus. With good articulation skills, you will be better than many others. Learn how to influence people around you. Develop critical thinking abilities, unique points of view, and influence those around you. Here, your campus is your personal laboratory. Okay, use it. And you will find that you are better than most other people. And finally, learn how to handle uncertainty. It will always be there. Uncertainty will be there, ambiguity will be there. Just learn to deal with it take it in your stride, and take risk. That will make you the best. And I have no doubt that you will be the best. Just follow these four or five lessons. So when you are on the campus, when you are with NCU, the 9 things I would tell you to do. Take your internships very, very seriously and try to get good brand name corporates. At the placement interviews, most questions will center around your internships. What did you do? What did you learn? Okay. Don't take the easy way out. Do interesting projects and get into hackathons, case study competitions, moot courts. Try to win prizes. Take help of the faculty. Again, you will stand out because at the placement interviews, they will ask you about the projects. What did you do? Engage in extracurricular activities, organize events, come up with initiatives, participate in sports, contribute to placement committees. Okay, think of how you can develop yourself because this is all about you. And when you stretch out, you will simply make the university a better place for you and others. Campus placements are critical. Never leave the campus without the job in hand, even though it does not pay you very well at the point in time, or you're not happy with the have for one simple reason. Many of you will probably not stop at the first degree. You will want to proceed to the second degree, the master's degree, either here or abroad. Your admission to good colleges in masters will have some weightage on what did you do after leaving campus. If you say that, oh, I finished my degree, then I didn't do anything for 1 year. Okay, that goes against you. Nobody asks you to start working with a company and retire in it. So when you exit the campus, take a job, work for 1 or 2 years. If you don't like it, that's okay. But that will train you and teach you a lot. And more importantly, it will count towards getting a better admission later. While you are at NCU, come up with a startup idea and work on it. We will have a lot of support to give you in terms of our entrepreneurship and incubation facility. Enhance your public speaking ability. Take part in debates and speaking opportunities. Read books. So many speakers have told us that reading books, there is no shortcut or no substitute. Learn extra courses. Take online certifications. Those are available. Some of them are free. Some of them have very little cost, but do that. And focus on a technology and a sector and develop your understanding for both. All right. Take your stint with the university as your personal laboratory and discover yourself and try to be good at more than one thing. And I can guarantee you, you will not have to worry about employment, jobs, careers, because you would be marching to your own drums. All right. I will stop here now and would like to interact with you, take any questions.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insight on and guiding our students accordingly. Students, quickly come onto your chat window and you can post your questions accordingly. Sir,
I'll just post a screen which is a LinkedIn 2020 survey about the top jobs.
Oh, great.
Okay, lot of these are technology jobs, but as I said, opportunities is for everybody. Okay, it's not just for engineers.
Absolutely, sir. Students, quickly come onto your chat windows and ask whatever doubts you have, whatever guidance you want to take from Professor Padalkar. In the meanwhile, the students are preparing for their questions, sir. I want to ask you a question, which because I also take care of the placements part in the university. So, I want to ask you, sir, what apart from this technical knowledge, which can be attained from the courses and from the other sources as well, what do you think? What is the role of personality grooming for better job opportunities in the market, sir?
See, I'll just tell you a simple statistic. An average position, and I'm talking about a company hiring, a good company hiring. An average hire requires today about 9.8 interviews. Okay, what does that tell us? That out of 9.8 people, one person is selected. Now remember that these 9.8 themselves have come from a short list. There's a first screen that companies apply, isn't it? What is your CGPA? Do you have backlogs? What is your academic track, etc., etc. So these 9.8 people who are your competitors for that position are somewhat equal. They are not very different in CGPA. They are not very different in many other aspects. So what makes you stand out? A good CGPA is a license to enter, but it is not licensed to get what you want. So that's why we say good academic track record is necessary but not sufficient. So you stand out because you are different. You come across as different. And let me connect back to something I said earlier, that they want you to solve their problems. They're not here to solve your problem. And therefore, how well you can solve their problem is a judgment call they have to make. Now, you don't know because they have not told you what their problem is. But you can anticipate. You can do analysis of the company. You can read their balance sheet and annual reports and their management discussion section where they will say, we are having this problem, we have input prices have gone up and things like that. So you already know something about the company. Read that for it. And then present yourself in such a way that you come across as somebody who can solve their problems. So personality plus content is what I will say.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you. We have a question from Garima. Sir, can you tell us about the certifications that you have mentioned?
Certifications, Garima, are basically focused on very new technologies or very new trends which have not yet been converted into degree programs. Okay. So an example I can give you, until about 3 or 4 years back, digital marketing was a certificate. There was no degree or diploma being given for digital marketing. Similarly, sometime back, ethical hacking, we don't teach you to do unethical hacking, but ethical hacking, okay, was a particular subject which required you to be certified because there was no program for it, degree program for it. So look at certificate as a small competency, which is not yet a full degree program, but something you should have. Okay, project management is a certification. Okay, it's not a degree. So you will find that these emerging areas, there are so many, and you jump from certificate to certificate.
Right now, we have a question from Aman. It's a question which is relatable to some of the students. Not everybody should do it. The question is, what to do when you are in your second last semester and have not paid attention to any of the points you have mentioned?
That's a great question, actually. And I like that question. Aman, that's a wonderful question. First and foremost, if you have not paid any attention, let that not make you feel down. Okay. you will have some strengths. Remember that what you missed out is knowledge, and knowledge can be acquired. All right. If you didn't do it then, you can do it now. You can convince people that, look, I didn't read books then, and be truthful. I didn't take my studies seriously because I was distracted or whatever. Okay, but I am a good student. I am capable of understanding all this, and if it is required, I'll push myself. But look at me as a full professional who has the potential and who has the capability, and perhaps not a great history, but uh, I have substance. So speak that language. That's what my advice to you will be. You can't explain away poor history. Acknowledge it, accept it, and say that you are going to be different.
Wonderful, sir. Now we have a question from Disha. She wants to know how we will come to know which specialization is best for us to study.
I'm sorry, I missed. I had a bad connection.
No
Can you
worries.
repeat that, please?
She wants to know how she'll come to know which specialization is best for them to study.
It's a choice. Specialization for you is a subset, like a Venn diagram between what you like and what is required outside. Okay, you can't completely go by what you like. Right? If you like making flower arrangement, that's fine. Nothing wrong in it, but there is no career in it. Or maybe there is, but I'm not aware of any. So listen to the market trend, listen to where people are going. Okay, half of them are not wrong, and pick your choices. And again, I'll tell you, it's important to like something, but it is not super important that you must do what you like, because the outside world may not have you for you like. And so you'll have to compromise between what you like and what you must do to succeed. If there is a conflict, then you have to compromise.
Right, now we have a question from Karthik. He wants to know how to develop some good communication skills.
There's no shortcut, Karthik. You just have to talk. You just want to listen. In public forums, there are many excellent speakers. Just look at how they speak, and it's not just English. It is good speakers are always critically reasoned. There is a certain sequence in which they put forth their thoughts. All right, and there's a logic. There's sequence. So learn from good speakers, observe them, listen to them, try it out, and you will see that you will get better. It will take some time, but there's no shortcut at all, and you have to try.
Right. We have a question from Pearl. I think he wants to know how to set an aim in life. What the exact word which is writing is, what are the secrets behind getting to where you have to go to? That means I think he wants to set his how he can set his aim.
See, aim you can set based on what you think and what you understand at a point in time. But if you set your aim to be comfortable, then I'll bet with you that you will not be comfortable. You have to accept discomfort, because every aim, every worthwhile goal will require a stretch. Don't look at the money or the position. These are byproducts. In India, we have what I call a being versus doing paradox. Everybody is clear what they want to be, but I don't find so many people clear about what they want to do. And this is a question I ask in interviews. What do you see yourself doing after 5 years or 10 years? And that question does not get a good answer. What I hear is, I want to be general manager, I want to be vice president, I want to be a UPSC officer. You see, what you want to be is not what I'm asking. What do you want to do? All right. So some of the setting goals and aims have to do with not what you want to be, but what you want to do. And therefore, state or status is less important than action. If you understand what I'm saying, then I think that you will not have much difficulty in setting your aims and goals.
Absolutely, sir. As a placement manager, I can also say, a student, this question, where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? This is a very important and tricky question, and you, Professor Padalkar have just, gave you the insight to answer such kind of question. Okay, now we have a question from Shubkirti. She wants to know, will there be any consequences if I want to do my job only after getting my master's degree and not after my bachelor's degree?
There are no consequences. If you get into a great master's program, okay, all the best for you. That's the best you can do. But if you can't, if you think that you want to get into a better master's program than the one you are getting after your degree, then it's all right to wait, experience life a little, work time, and then pursue masters. You will find that you'll be better prepared for masters. You will also find that you will be able to get into better programs or better schools or better universities easier if you have some work experience with you.
Great. So now we have a question from Tanvi. This is kind of an interesting question, which she's asking. She's asking, sir, do you think a student from a non-technical background, which means no idea about technology, can he or she learn technology or the data sciences predominantly?
Of course. All you need is, that thing that sits above your shoulders, your head. My batchmate from IIT who did his graduation in chemistry. Okay, get that. He's done his graduation in chemistry. Is today very acknowledged and celebrated professor of computer science with a lot of patents to his name in Arizona. Okay. I have another batchmate who's very, very bright engineer, electrical engineer from IIT Bombay, who's now an economist. So these fields are freely changeable. All right. We heard from Nitin Pai, who graduated from Bangalore College and got into satellite design and telecommunications and undersea cable laying. You see, if you're good, no industry, no field will have closed door to you.
Right, we have a question from Kunal, which is somewhat similar question, but then he's asking, what if I perhaps decide to change my career from what I am pursuing in the university? Is it fine with the market trend and future?
Oh yes, oh yes. In fact, if you have a degree in something, and let's say you have a career in something else, you become multidisciplinary, and that's extremely valued in the market. Many of the speakers you heard are indeed multidisciplinary. Okay, so there is less and less virtue in sticking to a particular field of study and just staying loyal to that field of study. There are no marks for that kind of a loyalty.
I now we have a question from Kushal. He's asking, sir, what I want from my life, I want money in future. So how to let the fire of motivation continuously burning inside me?
Kushal, I wish you the best, but money is always a byproduct of what you do. If you make money as your objective, then you work for money and money doesn't work for you. All right. You have to have a higher purpose in life, and the money follows.
Right, sir. So we have a very interesting question from Himang. He's asking, sir, you're really phenomenal. You have really phenomenal set of degrees and certifications. Have you ever faced rejection or failure? It is, he's asking you this question.
Absolutely.
So this is completely for you.
Absolutely. Right from the time I was 2 years old, I have faced failure, faced rejection. My journey into education started with 0 in mathematics. I got a complete 0. Okay. The rejection is it is there. People, you will have a setback, but I don't look at rejection as anything other than just a stumble. It is somebody holding a mirror to my face and telling me that you're not good enough. All right. That person who holds that mirror to my face is actually doing me a service. And I'm grateful for that. Because if nobody held a mirror to my face, I don't know how ugly I look. So whenever I have a setback, I say, thank you very much. Okay. I just have emerged a better person.
Very nice, sir. Very nice. Now we have a question from Shivam. He's asking if we have confused between 2 specializations, what should we do? And as both are important.
Pick one of them, since you like both of them equally well, and both of them are important. Toss a coin, pick one of them, and then once you are done with that specialization, go on to another. You have the whole life in front of you. Do both.
Very nice, sir. Sir, we have got a question from Divyansh, which you have already answered. After graduation, you are advising, for some years of experience and then go for masters. Now we have a question from Karthik. How much power do freelancing have, and can I earn some good amount of money from it after developing some skills?
That depends. You see, generally freelancers don't always make a lot of money. You only see those who are making a lot of money. You do not see a large number of them who are just about surviving. It's like, everybody thinks that, Shah Rukh Khan or Salman Khan or Amitabh Bachchan make a lot of money. And so you head for film industry? No. Because against every Amitabh Bachchan, there are about 1,000 people who tried and didn't make it. Okay. As a freelancer, if you build up yourself into that kind of a formidable profile, that on your own you are good enough. Okay, that's wonderful, and do that if that's your passion and that's your calling. But most professions in our economy are actually organizational professionals. They are not individual professionals. For example, as a doctor, be on my own. I don't need anybody else. I can consult. Okay, I don't need a big organization for consulting a patient. An accountant can survive on his own. A lawyer can survive on his own. Doesn't really need big organization. But when you think of industrial jobs, Industry 4.0, Industry 3.0, take our university, for example. Can any one of us survive without a university? The answer is no. All of us are required to make a program where different people will teach different things. And that's the reason you are here, isn't it? And so your individual goodness is not always there without the larger organization. If that's your calling and that's your profession, then freelancing will probably be very, very chancy. Otherwise, you can be on your own. Yesterday we heard this journalist, Shoma Chaudhary. She can be on her own. She can keep founding things because that profession is like that.
Right. Now we have a question from Jatin, which states that how can we develop a startup mindset since we know very little about everything, very little knowledge about this stuff. So how can we develop a startup mindset in us?
Oh, simple. Start thinking of solving people's problems. A lot of people solving our problems. We are only engrossed about our problems and we want our parents, our friends, others to solve our problems. A startup mindset starts with thinking about other people's problems and figuring out how you can solve them.
So we have a question from Tanvi that she's having zero idea about data science, coding, programming and all. Still, I'm ready to pursue it only to get a better job ASAP. With my family, financially, will university teach coding language like Python, C++, etc. for BSc data science?
That answer I'll defer to the right people who own that program. They are better people to answer it, but I can tell you, these are teachable and learnable skills. Okay, you have no idea, that's why you are a student, but this is very, very learnable and you can learn all the skills that you talked about.
Sir, Shivam has a question. What is the difference between freelancing and internship in respect to our qualities, and to which we should persuade during first and second year if we want to?
You see, freelancing generally has lesser supervision than internship. And therefore, freelancing will have lesser feedback from others about how you have performed. So internship is at your stage of life. This Aman, right?
Sir, it's I think it's Shivam.
Shivam, at this stage of life, I would recommend that you do internship only because other experts can tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and you have that feedback. In a pure freelancing role, you will probably not be beneficiary of that feedback.
Sir, I give a lot of respect to the parents because of the sacrifices which they made to make a student to be whatever he is as of now. So I would like to request your advice to the parents of our students.
My advice, I'm nobody to advise a parent, because for a parent is his or her child is everything. Okay, and so that's a judgment call. I will always defer to a parent, but I would just suggest to them that go easy on students. Let them experiment, let them experience. Okay, they will make mistakes. Okay, so my advice to both parents and students is that remain truthful and transparent with each other. Okay, don't hide things from your parents. They have emotionally, financially, in every way they have invested in you. If you don't do well, they will be shattered. If you do well, believe me, they will be proud till the end of the earth. And they are willing to give everything to make you succeed, to see you succeed. Okay, so just be truthful to your parents. Just be transparent. If you are going through life difficulties, struggling with your academics, struggling with your relationships, do not hide. I always say that people hide or lie because they are cowards, because they know they are doing something wrong and they don't want the other people to know. Don't be a coward. Own up. Be a solid person. Say that, yeah, you are going through this difficulty. You need support, and your parents, to parents, I will say, support the students. They will stumble. The human development is not linear. Okay, So just give them support, and that's all they need, and you will see your children develop wonderfully and exceed the expectations.
Perfectly great, sir. Great answers, and these are these words of wisdom which we have received from you is indeed would help these students to attain good career heights in future. Thank you very much, Professor Padalkar, for your precious time which you have devoted with our students and enlightening us with your words of wisdom. So thank you so much, and thank you, students, for joining us. And thank you, the NorthCap University, the computer cell, the IT cell, and Shruti Mehta ma'am. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you all.